Hey everybody, it's Tiana and welcome back to another video. So today is going to be a Halloween special mega candle video, and of course we're going to be doing Harry Potter theme. So the footage you just saw has nothing to do with candle making, but if you've been following me on Instagram, you'd have known that I actually made my own Slytherin uniform out of a men's thrifted t-shirt, and I thought that was a really fun thing to add to this video. So yes. Also, make sure to stay to the end of this video because I do have a special announcement. And then now we are going to be making the Harry Potter mega candle, and it turned out so good. I'm so excited to be showing you guys the process. This time around I wanted to make the candle 3 layers, so I actually am going to have a little magical help here to see what layer we're going to start with first. So it looks like we have the Birdie Bots every flavor bean. Just do like a whole handful. So this time around for the mega candle, I wanted to do something different. So last time I piped all of my layers onto the candle, but this time around I wanted to go ahead and just create these little blocks that go in the center of the candle, like these wax blocks, and these were going to kind of serve as just like filler. And then I was only going to decorate the outer edge of the candle, and this was going to save me time and effort so I don't have to make all of those embeds and everything like I did in the last video. So for the every flavor bean layer, I just wanted to make it kind of a surprise scent, so I picked 3 scents that I really wanted that I think would go good in the candle, which was pecan praline, cotton candy, and lemon pound cake. And I just closed my eyes and then just shuffled them around, and then I finally landed on cotton candy. So the every flavor bean layer is going to be a cotton candy scent. And we're going to see what the second layer of candle is going to be. Let's reveal. Okay, so it looks like we've got chocolate frog. It's just chocolate with a little crispy inside. So for this layer, I was just going to do the chocolate fudge scent that I have, and I do have a chocolate frog candle in my shop, and that one is actually scented with chocolate fudge and orange clove. But these little chocolate frogs are just chocolate. No orange or anything in them. So I went ahead and just did the chocolate fudge scent. And then on top of that, I was going to make my own embeds for the frogs. The infamous Butterbeer. And I know this is excessive, but this is like the only mug that I had that would work for this. So Butterbeer, and this is delicious. I made it myself, and I'm going to leave the recipe down below. Now that we have all 3 layers figured out, I'm going to start making embeds for the final layer, which is the Butterbeer layer. And this layer is going to have 2, not 1, but 2 golden snitches on top. So for this project, I wanted the snitch to have wings, of course, and have the sphere, and I did not have a mold like that. The only snitch mold that I could find was from Williams-Sonoma, and it was a little too expensive for what I wanted to pay for this mold. So I found this other mold on Amazon that I'll link down below, and it's just a spherical ice cube mold, and so I used that, and I also bought these little molds for wings on Amazon as well, which I'll put down there. And I decided that I was going to just combine the 2 and make my own golden snitch. Now that I had my Snitch unmolded, it was time to start assembling them with the wings. All I did for this part is I used a knife to cut a slit for the wings, and I just kind of played with it until I got the right length of a slit. And then once I did that, I went ahead and inserted the wings into the mold, and I used a little bit of excess wax to kind of seal it in there. And then I go in with a heat gun, and then I will go ahead and set the wings and the Snitch together with a heat gun. So for the Snitch, of course I had to make them gold, so I used the 24 karat gold mica powder for this. And a little disclaimer, if you're making candles, container candles, don't use mica powder because it's going to clog the wick and it's just not going to burn correctly for your customers. With that said, I used mica powder for this container candle, and yeah, I just really wanted to have the golden effect, so I figured I might as well just risk it and get the golden effect that I wanted. So I just put a little mica powder on the outside of the Snitches, and if I used the white wax, it just wouldn't have looked as golden. You would have been able to see a lot of the white. And then for the wings, I wanted to give it a little bit of glitz and glam, so I used some fine glitter and then just kind of used a paintbrush to put the glitter onto the wings of the Snitch. Now comes the hardest part of candle making, in my opinion, which is wicking the candle. So I made these little templates in my Pages application on my Mac, and I just made them 3 inches in diameter, and I cut a hole in the middle of the templates, and with that I was able to kind of see where I needed to put the wicks. And then I just used that same template and cut holes in all of my wax blocks. So that as I layer them, I can put the wicks in between the holes of the blocks, and I'll show you so it makes more sense. So with the first wax block down, this is going to be the every flavor bean layer. So I'm going to just lay the jelly beans inside. So these jelly beans, I actually outsourced these and ordered these elsewhere. These are the only embeds that I did not make for the candle. So these jelly beans worked really nice for the project. I was going to use a cream in this part and then sprinkle jelly beans, but I thought that the jelly beans just laying in there themselves like that was a really good look, so last minute I changed it up. Now I'm putting the second wax block of the every flavor bean, and each layer is going to have 2 layers, if that makes sense. So each layer of the candle is going to have 2 wax blocks. So now it goes in the second layer, and I'm just going to add more beans around the second layer. For the chocolate frog layer, which is going to be the next layer up, I was going to just put the chocolate frogs in and arrange them, but I didn't like the way that I was looking, so I decided that I was going to make a little cream out of wax and then do like a whipped cream and then set the chocolate frogs on top of the cream. So that's what I ended up doing here. So now we are at the final layer of the candle, which is the Butterbeer layer, and as you can see here, I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm actually decided that I wasn't going to let the wax cream touch the glass. So you can see that my piping is a little bit more into the center of the candle. It's not really on the outside of the wax block, and it's just going to help me keep the look of the frosting. And with that, I actually decided to cut the last layer of the Butterbeer part of this candle, and I was going to cut a small block and just put that into the center for a little stability. And then I was just going to go ahead and pipe more of the topping right on top of that last little wax block. Now we're going to start messing with our just centerpieces here, which are the golden snitches, and for this I actually used a knitting tool to get the hole into the golden snitch so that I could put the wick in there, and the tool is just like a stitch holder for knitting. It works really great. I use it all the time for candles. So I also decided that I was going to add an extra wick into the snitch, and this is because I wanted the snitches to sit really high up. I wanted a little bit of height. Added a little bit more cream so that the snitches could be perched up onto the cream, and then of course the wicks were not going to go all the way up, so I added another wick, and then that is just going to help burn. So as the snitches burn down, I'll just have to keep an eye on those wicks and then remove them, and then I could use the wicks underneath the snitch and I'll light those when it burns down enough, if that makes sense. The very last part of this candle was the caramel glaze that was going to be on top of the Butterbeer, and I think this just really topped it off and made it look a lot like Butterbeer and really realistic and delicious. So that was a very nice touch that I added onto the candle. So I removed the snitches earlier so that I could put the caramel glaze on top and they wouldn't get all messy, and now I can put them right back on top of their little whipped cream perches, and then I'm going to set them in with a heat gun so that they don't fall off or anything like that. And then I decided I was going to take more of that 24 karat mica and touch up any of the smudges that I made with my fingers. That is it for the Harry Potter mega candle video, and like I said, I do have a special announcement for you guys, and Winding Wick Candles has won the Etsy HQ visit contest. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, this is a contest that I entered on Instagram, and basically I made a 60-second video for Etsy about why people should shop with me this holiday season, and I won. So Etsy is going to be flying me to New York next month, to Brooklyn, to visit the Etsy HQ headquarters, and I'm also going to get a lot of goodies while I'm there as well, from what I hear, and I'm going to be in an Etsy digital video. So I'm going to be vlogging and talking about it when I go there, and I'm going to give you an inside look at Etsy. But until then, you guys, you can click on any video here to watch some previous studio vlogs, or even a mega candle video if you like. But don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, bye guys.